So let us do some collective concentration practices, and then later on you can choose your own object or topic or concept of to concentrate on. But let's first do a few together. And we will aim just to have 4 or 5 minutes each, maybe even shorter, just to kind of get into the feel and the mood and train this. And for concentration, there are two things that are required. Well, required two things that are helpful. First, you need to understand it, what the topic or the theme or the object that you are focusing on. Second, there needs to be a certain feeling of wonder connected with it, or a feeling of, what is it, joy or fascination. If that, it makes it easier. If there is disinterest, then it becomes more difficult to focus if you don't have interest in it. So when you choose your own concentration topics, always choose something that fascinates you, but it needs to be, churning needs to have happened around that theme. And what did Baba say about it? What are different angles, aspects of it? And another aspect of concentration that helps, if there is some image in your mind, it helps you deepen the concentration. Of course, ultimately, we have to go beyond images. Baba was very clear about that yesterday, because you have to understand, it has to be in your intellect, the wisdom. But in concentration, when practicing, imagery helps if you can. So, but first practice, I'll just suggest and see how you go. And concentration practices we do is you have this mind. Mind is like a stage or screen, and the intellect that chooses what stays on the stage of your mind. So the intellect says this image or this thought is not useful. And or this thought or this image or this understanding is accurate, and you keep that in the mind. So like the intellect is like the guard. Am I being clear? Okay. So just let us do some basic practices around soul consciousness, soul awareness, soul awake state. And you focus all your attention on the stage of your mind. Not what is happening there and breakfast and who said what and Zoom things. Just all your attention is focused on the stage of your mind, what is going on in your mind. And let us explore this soul. What does that mean? I am a soul. The invisible one. Operating the body, operating the subtle organs, the invisible being of consciousness. The invisible experiencer. And just use the image of light, tiny star, living light. And let only thoughts and feelings around this invisible experiencer, the soul, be in your mind. No other thoughts. Get to know the real self. Silent, pure, innocent, and free, living light. Without any thoughts of drama, without any thoughts of the role interfering, the part. Just for now, leave it apart. The incorporeal, pure, original soul. Bodiless, egoless, pure, living light. Thank you. How much was the concentration?
95%.
How much?
95%.
60%, 80%. Good. Okay, now we will take a physical destination. Everyone has been to what? To the ocean shore? Everyone has seen the ocean shore? Okay, we'll take that physical destination. Now, in your mind, going to the beach. And on the beach, there is sand, there is the ocean, and there is the sunset over the ocean. This is the scenery. And you just fully focus. Concentrate on that scenery. And if you concentrate with some extra attention, You could even see the body on that beach. You can even feel through the body the sand underneath the feet. If you concentrate even more, you can hear the breeze of the wind and the waves of the ocean. And for just few minutes, no other thoughts, just that whole scene. And in the horizon, the sunset, and the vastness of the ocean, and the light of the sunset, like a gentle red, golden red. You can see it, almost smell the freshness and the saltiness of the air. And the sounds of the water and the soft sand underneath the feet. Thank you. How much was the concentration now? 95. See, much higher.
99.
99%. But it gives you an idea how Marisol is saying 90,
98.
98. Yeah. It's because it is such a tangible and familiar scene, it becomes more easy. But this power to concentrate, we have. We all have. We just need to train it. And we need to refine it to focus, to how to say, we need to refine it so that it also can apply to the non-physical and the invisible. And that what is eternal, because you could see the contrast. No? Soul is invisible, it is still more a concept for us, and we have not experienced living in that for a long time, so that memory is far, whilst the beach is more what is it, well, more familiar at the moment with it, so it becomes more easy. But we need to, the soul world, Baba, should be just as tangible in our mind as this beach was. We are not on the beach at this moment, but still you could have that experience of it through the power of your mind and the intellect guiding it. So in the same way, the soul conscious state, whether in the drama or beyond the drama, it should be just as alive as this was. Baba should be just as detailed, experienced, his company, his presence. But because it is subtle and invisible, the intellect needs to get more into that refined state to get that. And it is not that we cannot. But we need to train, we need to emerge that paras, the divine intellect, that paras ability. But the ego within us only wants the tangible. Now, once the drama thinks and think about that, the ego cannot grasp what is subtle and invisible. So we have to consciously shift and focus on that invisible. Even when you think about self, if there is not the attention and the training, it is this that we think about and the role. But that invisible being who is living light, who is innocent and God, that is the real you. It's putting purity a filter. Yeah, 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 it is. Yeah. Okay, so let us again come back to that first exercise now. Incorporeal soul, invisible experiencer. And so again, withdraw the attention from the things external and focus on the stage of the mind. And with that third eye, the eye of knowledge, and the divine intellect, hold that image in the mind of a tiny star. Invisible, but a being of light in the image of a tiny star. Benevolent, free, indestructible, immortal. Not a human being, not male nor female. Invisible, experienced as light. And just hold all the attention on this real self. And don't allow any other thoughts to come on the stage of the mind. And try and grasp what it feels like. A mind that is fully aware, fully soul conscious, pure, peaceful, free, living light. That is the only self. Everything else is the part in the drama. And just get a feel of this mind of one who is absolutely free, absolutely secure, fully aware of the self as immortal, invisible experiencer. Eternal, bodiless. Egoless. Om Shanti. So, what was the percentage now? Little over 90. Okay, very good. And the others? Between 80 and 90. Marisol says 100. Very good. Yeah. But can you see the difference that when it is subtle or when it is a gross image? Now, the whole yoga of ours is subtle. And that is why it requires attention and repeated consistently attention. Because the intellect and the mind are used to gross. And the gross feeds the body consciousness. Just thinking about ice cream, it doesn't allow you to go to the soul world. Thinking about human faces, if you want to do that in a so conscious way, it requires an extra, not just the attention that you did just now. It requires extra attention on top of that, because now there is this invisible, subtle, refined, royal being of light. And then there is a face. And these two things will compete for the attention. And the ego wants to look at the face and the features and the skin color and the smile, the expression. Understand what is going on? So, to train the mind and the intellect and to become more and more familiar with the whole invisible dimension. You want to say anything? Ask anything? No? Okay, then we'll next exercise. Yeah.
I think just one thought here that When we want to practice about the subtle, it's important to take a few moments and drop every thought. Otherwise, the focus doesn't really, because you're still seeing everything around you at the physical level, right? And you're catching images. You have that actually helps me. You have to take some time to just drop everything and then just start moving into the subtle.
No, this is why or one other way to say that is you shift your attention away from the external and you shift it to the internal, the stage of your mind. And
It
then
has
put on that stage a specific thought or a specific image. Everyone has to find their own, what works for you. And it might also change over time what works. But these practices, these exercises of concentrating on the invisible, on the subtle, on that what is eternal. Otherwise, Maya will continue to pull our attention to what we can perceive through the senses. And that is like, what is it? It is, we're used to that for 63 births. That has been dominant. So we kind of had to break through it.
the whole body consciousness. Let me see. Body, it's a lie to the self, an LIE, lie to the self, and one has to be protractedly engaged on the inside, on the self, being bodiless, innocuous. You have to go to that uneventful place and this timelessness and really experience, I am really this star, this luminous being, this imperishable being, this divine entity. Protracted is the word. We do the drill like drop everything and go in a second, but then one has to stay in that second and make it a moment that lasts forever on an experiential level and hold it, which is holding the consciousness beyond the mundane, beyond the seeing. The eyes are open, but the attention is not on the external. One is looking from within. So there's no.
We were doing exercises in concentration.
Well, that's it. Yeah, it's a lot of concentration, focal.
Okay, shall we do one more? But we will stay now with the concentration on the subtle. You can also train, by using more gross images, if that helps. But over time, it has to shift to the more subtle. So now, again, make the whole drama in your mind, make the whole drama small. The whole drama, all the 5,000 years, all the bodies and all the bodily humans, put them in a box and close the lid. Past, present, future in the box and close the lid. And what is beyond the box is just light. The alokik, the invisible. And just the being of light in that vast expanse of light. And leave the lid, make sure the lid is closed. Not box comes open again and some noise or some thought. Close it. in this dimension where there's no sound, no movement, just stillness and light. And the home is with that color of gold and red. And just engage the mind in that non-physical home. The experience, the vibrations, the atmosphere of home is of belonging, of silence, of safe, being safe and secure, timeless. This is the whole invisible home of the invisible beings of light. And of the invisible Father. Pure and benevolence is what is that atmosphere. All are good. All are lovely. All are loved. Bodiless beings. Now keep the drama in the box, lid closed. And beyond is that vast silence and light. No thoughts of drama, no vibrations of body consciousness, just playful, innocent, pure, lovely and loving, invisible family of beings of light. This is Shanti Dham, home of peace. Home of light. The world beyond sound. Any sound, any movement, it is only in that box. But beyond is stillness, free. And just familiarize the mind with this awareness of home. This is home. This is the only home. This is the eternal home. This is imperishable home. A father and a family. And so gradually, the living light chooses to go into the box, into the drama, put on the mask, to play the game, act out the part of a human. But the only aim, the only reason to go into the box is to remind the other invisible brothers that they are not their masks, that they are souls, that they are souls also living lights. Om Shanti. How much was concentration? Not as a competition, but as a self-checking. Full concentration. Very good, Marisol.
93%.
It gets easier every time. No, this is a very useful observation. Because this is something that is being said often. I can't concentrate. I don't have concentration. People don't have concentration. We all have concentration. We just haven't trained it. And if you do 3, 4, 5 simple exercises, you already see. Of course, we need to be not tired. That is why we have the Brahmin routine. And don't feel bad if you're tired. But no, this is why there is a routine. But more you do the exercises, you see the incremental, progress. Okay, final.
What I was going to say is that though it ought to be, introversion isn't natural, and we have to well, maybe the best word is to reacquaint ourselves with being introverted, because we've been extroverted, and in fact all of our schooling and education, all of what we value is external. And so this is where the effort is. And of course, the more you practice, the more natural it can become.
Excellent. I use the word familiarize, but this is a better word, reacquaint the self again with it. And these are yoga practices. And Baba says we are weak in this. We need to do this more. Okay.
So sisters, sorry, okay. Thank you. This was like coming home. It felt like home.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you.
You know the way.
Yeah.
Now.
It was so beautiful. Yeah, it was love. There's only love.
Very good.
Yeah. And something you mentioned, to come back and help. To me, that is because then the feeling is just stay home. So beautiful. But then you brought us back. So that realization. Thank you.
You know the way. Baba has come to take us home. Yeah. But we
And
have to
have
do this. And Baba says this is where Maya interferes a lot.
thank you.
Last, no. Okay, let's
the, bo-
close. Godfrey.
the,
Yeah.
bo- the box is the world of sense perception, and it has held us in that box.
Yeah.
When I'm outside of the box, I'm naturally incorporeal.
Yeah. Very
And
good. Yeah.
so,
Excellent.
in going home, we know home. We've gone home several times during meditation, but one should be able to enter the home in a second and stay there.
Mm.
You don't have to, shouldn't be trying to get into the. You have the key of knowledge, so you get into your house and close the door out on the outside.
Very good. Yeah. Okay, let's close with a minute of silence. Oh,
Shanti.
thank you, sister.